we're back. Um, it
You're
is
back, baby.
we're back. It's the live streaming is getting figured out. Um, and if you're here, make sure to go and subscribe. We're trying this new thing. We're gonna get it squared away. We're watching Ryder Cup golf right now, and the U.S. is doing their thing. They are trying at least. They're trying to squeak out a 2-2 morning session, which, like I said last night, is the best they could hope for, and it's looking like that's the best they're going to get. Um, so
I'm copying.
make sure the Instagram people know that we're live here on YouTube. But it's college football. It's college football this week. It's week 5. We've had we've had some big upsets already. There's some big games this
Yeah,
weekend.
what happened? What happened last night, Johnny?
All right, so are we going to talk about it now? Okay, well, I guess we'll talk about it now. Um,
We had
so
to.
yeah, FSU loses in double overtime in Virginia last night. Virginia storms the field just like we did in week 1 against Alabama. I'm just going to say this as a disgruntled FSU fan today. The That was a catch, by the way. He had control in of the football when both feet were in bounds. I'm not going to make the claim that FSU always gets calls against them, but we already know that mainstream college football does not like FSU.
It
I mean, granted, I'll say this: we should not have been in that position in the first place.
no.
Our offensive line was absolutely terrible last night. Castellanos was getting pressured in ways that he shouldn't have been pressured. We should not have been in the position where we had to win the game in double overtime. So we could have done a lot more earlier in that game to not lose to an unranked Virginia team.
Yeah, it certainly looked like, it was sort of like bobble, but then it appeared like he had it and he had a foot down still.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they overturned it. I'll just say that. It was called a touchdown on the field, and I'm surprised that they overturned it. And it looked awfully close, if nothing
Yeah.
else. And typically, when that happens, you stick with the call on the field.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, unfortunate, but also, can we get a wellness check on that wide receiver for the at the end of the game there
Oh
for Florida
man.
State? Like, is he okay? Because it appeared like
Yeah.
he could have gotten trampled, like straight up, Led Zeppelin
Yeah.
concert style back in the day or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Actually, it was the Who in Cincinnati, and I only know that
Whatever.
because I just watched a video on that.
Yeah.
And my sister, your aunt Tammy, was actually at that concert.
Yeah.
So interesting fact. But yeah, I mean, look, did I think we were going to go undefeated? No, I thought we were going to. If we were going to lose a game, we were going to lose to Miami. I did not think we were going to lose to Virginia. Do I think we can still? Do I think we can still? Go. You know. 9-3, 10-2. Yeah,
Sure.
probably. Because if that offensive line shows up, Miami is going to destroy us. Um, you know, but who knows? Like, do I think with Gus Malzahn? I think we're in a great place. I think we have a good bench of kids for the next 2 years.
For sure.
So I think we're in a good spot. But I'm still not happy about that. That being said, your alma mater. Speaking of alma maters,
Mhm.
your alma mater is playing Kansas today. Um,
Kansas
um,
State, that same
or
difference.
Kansas State, yes.
Yeah.
What is how good is UCF this year? Like they have surprisingly they've impressed me this year and last year, honestly, in a couple of games. Like how good is UCF right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're obviously going to be a lot better than they were last year, and not to. It's kind of interesting. You were just talking about Florida State with having Gus Malzahn as the offensive coordinator when he just got canned from UCF
Yeah,
because a lot of people hated his play calling. So so it's really interesting to see kind of see that dynamic. I mean, they're obviously better than they were last year. I think Scott Frost. He loves being here. I think he probably wouldn't tell you he regrets leaving to go to
Yeah,
Nebraska. But he absolutely loves being here, and you can just tell the energy that he has, and he brings a different style, a different dynamic that is hard to replicate anywhere else. You need super fast guys, and that's what he recruits. And obviously it's worked. The guy hasn't lost a game as the coach of UCF since
yeah,
2022. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was an argument to be made a few years back that that UCF was undefeated and should have been in the mix there. I think they just don't have the strength of schedule that historically that you're going to need to get. But who knows with the expanded
they
playoff? Like
now being in the Big 12, so they won't be
yeah,
denied anymore if that happens. So
yeah, exactly. All right, so week five, we've got some big games.
yeah,
First off, to start off, we've got a an SEC matchup with Auburn and Texas A&M. Auburn is unranked, and A&M is ranked ninth. Obviously, A&M is 3-0. Auburn is 3-1. Um, Better question before we get into who's going to win this game, because I frankly I think A&M is going to win this game. But is A&M a top 10 team right now? That's the
I
question I
mean,
have for you.
yeah, it's still obviously early, fairly early in the season. They're going to get into the meat of their, SEC schedule, and I think you'll
Yeah,
really be able to see, even if they do lose a game, nobody's going to go undefeated in that conference. So,
yeah,
it would be that would take an extraordinary feat. I feel like for somebody to go undefeated. So, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I think they have as good of a, excuse me, a good of a shot as anybody.
I don't
To
think they're
get
a
there, but
top
we'll
10
see.
team though. I don't think they're. I think you're right. Yeah, it's early. Florida State was not a seventh or eighth ranked team. I made this point a couple weeks
Sure.
back. But like um I feel like A&M is probably 14 or 15. I don't think they got Scooby Williams, their star linebackers, out this week. Like I think that you know, and he may be out next week as well. Like it's going to be interesting. I
It's
I just I think it does more of a disservice when you overrank these teams early,
yeah.
especially
Well,
when
as
it's not clear.
yeah, I was just
I don't
gonna
know.
say that you sometimes these teams, they win early, they get big wins early, they get ballooned up there, kind of like USF,
Yeah, yeah,
won a couple of games early against ranked opponents at the time, and then all of a sudden they come crashing back to reality. So,
yeah. I mean, thank God they beat Florida. So
well,
that
yeah,
was that
that's
was
always
that
a
was
good
my
thing. That's always one.
favorite. Other big games, not on the picks for today,
Yeah.
but Penn State's taking on Oregon tonight. You know what do you think? What are your thoughts
Well,
about that game? Being knowing Penn State as much as you do.
yeah, the only thing that I think is I saw, Kirk Herbstreit say this, and I completely agree with it, is you've got this game, you've got Alabama and so forth, both playing at 7:30 tonight. I mean, you literally need he made up a great point that you literally need like a commissioner. Like these games shouldn't be all on the same weekend or all being played at the same time. I mean, you really
Yep.
need a commissioner for college football
Yeah.
because you've got like, what are you supposed to, what are you supposed to watch here? It's these
Right.
games should be spread out a little bit more. But I mean, with that said, obviously, the whiteout in Penn State's always a extremely tough environment. This is gonna be a heck of a matchup. It's good.
I mean,
It benefits Penn State big time that this is at home, and I think that's could be the difference because
yeah.
James Franklin's record, in games like this, not at home, is atrocious.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a close game. I think Penn State with the whiteout, with it being in Happy Valley, I think that's going to be the difference in a close game.
I mean, you even see. I mean, you guys had to go. Michigan had to go to Happy Valley. Like a lot back in the days when there was them and Ohio State 1 and 2 and all that stuff. Like, I I
Also,
I
not
think
to interrupt, but Henley and Scheffler just tied it up in the Ryder Cup, their match.
okay,
So
so
there
we're
you
gonna have to wrap this up in a minute to get that posted. Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be, it's always tough going to Happy Valley with the whiteout. We'll see. I think Penn State pulls it out tonight. And speaking of playoffs and all of that, um, dark horse. Who's your dark horse to make the college football playoff this year?
I mean, can you really consider like Indiana a dark horse anymore? I mean, I think just in general, over the course of history, you could consider Indiana a dark horse.
Yeah,
uh, but so I mean, if I have to pick one, I'm gonna say them. They obviously still have most of their schedule to go through, but
yeah. I mean, they're ranked 11 right now. They're gonna have to
yeah.
play some. They're gonna have to play some tough games. Um,
But
like
what they
I would
did to
say,
Illinois last week was wow.
yeah. Like we'll talk about that in our picks later. I would say, in an instance where a team is overranked again, I think Texas Tech currently ranked 12th. I think they're really 16th or 17th in the country. I
Texas
think,
Tech's a solid one though.
yeah,
That's
they got that high flying offense, man. I
sure do.
think they could definitely squeak in there. And then, and Iowa State, man, at 14. Like,
It's always
they're,
fun to bet on the Cyclones.
yeah, it is. It always is. I like them. But yeah, I mean, I could see it. I mean, Michigan, let's be honest, Michigan, could very easily, win out. And with their track record against Ohio State, I don't think Ohio State is a favorite, especially them being in Michigan this year. Like it's I think that if they beat Ohio State, they're right there. So who knows? We'll
Yep.
see. Anyways, guys, it's Saturday, September 27th. It is college football weekend.
Let's go.
We've got three picks here. We didn't have picks yesterday. We're back at it now, and we've got three college football picks, starting with USC and Illinois. Illinois lost 63-10 to an Indiana team last week, and they face a team that is number two in the country in rushing yards. USC is averaging almost 7.1 yards per carry. They're going to have to, and they're going to have kind of free reign over an Illinois backfield that is missing Xavier Scott and Caleb Patterson at the DB positions. So I don't think they're going to be close in this. I think they're going to get run over, and I think USC is covering. We got this at 6.5. I think a touchdown easily. So buy it down to 6.5, or if it's there, get it at that. I think USC covers that. I think the over hits as well, but we're going to go USC at -6.5 at -115.
Yeah, I mean, clearly expect a better effort from Illinois. I think that
Absolutely.
line actually moved a touch. I think it was at +7. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. What about number two?
we got Ohio State, Washington. So Ohio State going out to Washington. I just looking at these two teams, even though it is in Washington, Ohio State traveling all the way out to the West Coast. As much as it pains me to say, Ohio State is just a lot better than Washington, and I would expect it to be fairly close. But I think Ohio State will end up kind of pulling away in the end and covering this 8.5 that we got here at -108.
Yeah, love that. And then we've got LSU at Ole Miss,
I like
right?
your note on
And
this one. This is
yeah,
good.
my note on this is quite simply fuck LSU. Okay, I hate LSU. The only thing good to come out of Baton Rouge is I-10 and crawfish boils. Okay, um, I don't care. My sister-in-law went to Ole Miss. My sister from another mister, shout out Lori Coleman,
I,
went to
you
Ole
know,
Miss. Grew up in Oxford. So hotty toddy, hell yeah,
yeah.
damn
I,
right.
I mean, it's
Go Ole
as much as
Miss.
we don't, you don't like LSU. I will say, being in Baton Rouge, those were I had the best oysters I've ever had in my life
Yeah,
in Baton
there you
Rouge.
go.
So,
Well, and that's because you haven't been to Maine yet. Gulf oysters have nothing on Maine oysters, but we're gonna take Ole Miss -1.5. -112, guys. I think they win this by a field goal late in a stunner. So we've got USC covering 6.5. We got Ohio State covering 8.5, and we've got Ole Miss covering 1.5. The three-way parlay on this is plus 548. So don't
Let's
forget
get
to
it.
like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for another edition of No